we call the coursework, where you have to attend to classes, you have to do your evaluation and your papers and so on. And then there will be a period of, in principle, 1 year, which can be standard, of course, for you to write your thesis work. This initial stage, we are basically using it to introduce you to some general topics that are going to be useful for our program later. And this particular course today is about macroeconomics. Of course, some of you are already familiar with economy, others might not. Everybody has a little bit of economists. Everybody knows more or less that the euro is in trouble. It's not something that is not do not come out in the news almost every day. But of course, one thing is for us to have, you know, kind of a knowledge, news about the news regarding the economy of Europe. The other thing is for us to have the basic tools to understand more deeply what is going on and the problems that Europe is facing, and also to help us in the future when we start to give you more specific courses dedicated to the European integration process, to the history of integration, to these legal aspects, to the institutional aspects of the European Union, as well as the current political, economic issues. And we also have a dimension dedicated to European external relations, which is, of course, for us in Macau and in China, very important. We will require some of those knowledge, the basic knowledge that we are going to start by giving a course on economics. You have some material with you, which I would recommend you to read it, particularly the student handbook and the list of courses that are scheduled throughout the year. But one thing I like to, you know, to give you as a, let's say, as a, maybe to share with you, I would say. This course is different from any other course that you have or you can find at the University of Macau for some reasons I'm going to explain. And I must say that as anything else, the difference that we are going to refer to can bring you, you know, some advantages and eventually some disadvantages. And I will start with the disadvantages, which is, of course, this is a master program that only functions at in the late afternoon. So all classes start, you know, around 6:30 and goes up to 9:30. So many of you are students, are full-time students, and so you have to, you know, kind of learn how to use your precious day you know, to do your homeworks or to do your papers, or even, you know, to do something else and to acquire maybe some some knowledge about Macau, and to attend and to visit the university library and so on and so forth, which is always a good place to be because they are very well, they have a very big collection of materials. So this is one, I could say eventually, a disadvantage of this program. The other disadvantage is that sometimes, you know, I had in the past this experience. Some of you might come to ask us, why are these courses, you know, formed in such a way that the longest one has about 24 hours, right? It's 24? 18 hours. 18 hours. So what can we learn in 18 hours? Of course, this is a very legitimate question, and we have to address that question, and very openly. And the thing that I can tell you is that we designed this program as a whole. I mean, as something that is comprised, as I was mentioned, of two parts. One part, which is the coursework, okay? And the other part, which is the thesis work, okay? What you are supposed to do in the thesis work is that after you get yourself familiar with the content of the program, you will be able, and once you start maybe be familiar also with some of the lectures of the program, you might find, you know, some particular topic that you will consider to be appropriate or of your interest to develop a thesis work based on that topic. And that is where you will acquire, you know, a more specialized view on European issues, particularly European Union issues, okay? But you cannot go to that point if we are not able to offer you during this year quite a wide selection of courses covering different topics that are topics that we have to deal with when we talk about the EU. That is why we have a very intensive program, okay? We have an intensive program. I want you to be aware of that from the very first day. Don't leave things behind, okay? Because sometimes the way this course is organized, and because you have a whole day, some of you at least have a morning free or an afternoon free, you might think that you will be able to catch up if you don't start working on your topics from the very beginning. But this is, sorry to say, it is not like that.